Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be going over the ultimate BMW E30 5-lug swap. This is the way I'm doing it. There's a bunch of other ways to do it, but nothing's really posted on how to do it using Z3M parts, so that's what we're going to do today. As for the front, the E30 M3 and Z3M, I'll probably use interchangeably, are the same for the front. But they are completely different for the rear, and I will go over that. So let's get started with all the parts that are going on to my E30. Please excuse the shop is an absolute mess. That's why I have everything nicely laid out here. I'm going to go over everything in sections. So you have your whole front section, you have your whole rear section, which is right there, and then the diff, and then all the calipers and whatnot. So everything is either going to be new or has been powder coated, really except for the steering shaft right there, and the axles are pretty much the only thing not refreshed. I am missing a few things. I am missing suspension, which will be in its own video, and control arms, but I'll explain that once we get into the video. So let's get started. So to start with the front, we're using Garagistics Power Steering Delete with this J&J Axle Supply Z3 rack, not sponsored. Go check them out there in Santa Ana. They do axles and rack rebuilds. So this is a Z3 rack, 2.7 turn lock to lock, and that will be fantastic in the E30. But when you do the rack swap, you will need to fix the steering shaft with Garagistics rack swap kit. So this will shorten the steering rack, shorten the steering shaft a little bit to accommodate the longer neck from the swap. So with that, you also want to upgrade the rubber flex disc. So they make a aluminum one, which we have here, and they make a Delrin version. Highly recommend upgrading those. It really stiffens up the feel of the wheel. So with that, we also have a fully upgraded front subframe. Has all the reinforcement plates from Garagistic. We have our engine mounts, which are underneath in the engine gussets. Our sway bar reinforcement, which is an absolute must. And the control arm reinforcement underneath. So the reason for upgrading your sway bar tabs is when you run aftermarket sway bars, like this one from Ireland Engineering. It comes blue, but I had them repowder coated in red to match the build. We have the 22 millimeter front and the 19 millimeter rear. When you run aftermarket sway bars, you are almost guaranteed to snap your sway bar mounts. So make sure you upgrade those when upgrading your sway bar. With a stock E30 control arm, the sway bar and the sway bar end link, which is right here, mounts to the control arm. When you upgrade to the E30 M3 control arm, you want the 96 plus year model. You do not want the 95. So when you upgrade to that, you will no longer need this sway bar end link, and you'll run an end link from the sway bar to the strut, because there is a tab on the strut that the sway bar end link now mounts to. So now let's move on to the front hubs and the brake rotors. So let's start here. Drilled and slotted rotors. I'm not really sure the brand. They came off a Roadster I parted out, but they were basically brand new. Just had them resurfaced, and they are ready to go straight and true. We have E30 M3 or Z3M M3 brakes, as you can see right there. We have all the seals and caliper guides, new piston, and hawk pads. These are their, I think they're the 500 series, but I'll put that down below. We have the Garagistic stainless steel brake lines, and I went with rubber caliper guides, or like the OEM caliper guides, instead of metal ones. The metal ones are more for race applications, and they need a lot more rebuilding and cleaning and maintenance. So I just stuck with the OEM ones. So because the car is not really a full track car, so it's nice not to have to service the brakes after every drive. I also forgot to mention for the front, we are using upgrading to 95A motor mounts, trans mounts, subframe bushings, and diff mounts, all 95A. I had 80A in my car currently. They felt great, but I wanted a little bit stiffer, so upgrading. So for the front hubs, these are off a 98 Z3M M Roadster, but they are the same as an E36 M3. Later model, anything after 96 again is what you want. With that, we're using Grudge6 E30 ABS deletes. Actually work with the front hubs. It needs a tiny bit of modifications, which I will show, but they will mount right up as the distance between the two is about the same. So with that, new dust shield, dust collar, new hub, nut, and everything all ready, all refreshed. I'm just waiting on my stud kit from Motorsport Hardware to show up, and that will be ready to install. So like I said, with the front control arm, you do want a 96 plus year control arm. As you can see, I do not have them here. I am not going with OEM control arms. I am going with a company in Florida. That's a little hint. You'll have to wait for the assembly video of everything to see what those are. But with that, I have Grudge6 F cabs, so they're front control arm bushings. These are their adjustable ones, beautifully engineered in red, and have a, I believe this is a Heim joint, so our spherical bearing in here, excuse me, for more adjustment in the front. So that is pretty much it for the whole front of the car. That will all be in its own video. Then the rear end will all be in its own video. And then I'm going to do a separate video for the calipers and for the diff. So moving on to the rear end, we have a fully reinforced E30 rear subframe that has the diff reinforcement, the trailing arm gusset reinforcement, and the serrated toe and camber adjustments from Grudge6, also freshly powder coated to match everything else. So with that, we are using Grudge6 95A raised subframe bushings to dial out even more camber from the rear, and a fresh subframe bolt that I will show you how to knock out and reinstall. Also in the rear, Race Germans rear jack point. Highly recommend, not sponsored, but just gives you another place to jack up your car from instead of having to use either the diff or ruining your pinch welds. So highly recommend that. That goes on the brace that mounts to the subframe. Continuing with the rear, like I said before, we have Ireland Engineering's 19mm rear sway bar and the end link. When you also upgrade this, you want to reinforce the end link mount on the trailing arm. So it comes with a reinforcement. Again, all my reinforcement plates came from Grudge6, so I will show you that when it comes to talking about the rear trailing arm. So actually, that's about it for the rear subframe. So let's move on to the trailing arms and the most important part of this 5-lug swap. So we have the Z3M rear trailing arms. These are basically like E30 trailing arms, but they have a brace right here, and they are a little bit beefier in the rear. They have their own OEM gusset, and where the rear strut mount is more reinforced, and I added a reinforcement bar to it to reinforce it even more. So with that being said, new dust cover, bearing, new hub, new everything for the rear. The E30 ABS deletes work perfectly in the hole with no modifications, as the rear trailing arm is basically the same. Also, like I said before, I did not get rebuilt axles. These didn't look half bad and felt good, so I'm gonna continue to use them until they break. and once they break, I'll get new axles if needed. With that, also have new e-brake lines and Garagistics rear tie-down mount for the rear strut. So instead of wrapping around your wheel, you could wrap it around the trailing arm instead. So that's it for over here. Excuse me, it's a little bit of a tight fit. I don't think I missed anything there. Moving on to the rear brakes. Just like the front, drilled and slotted rotors and fresh calipers, all being rebuilt with new pistons, new brake pads, Garagistic stainless steel lines, same as the front. Let's move on to the rear diff. This is a 2.93 LSD out of an E30, but to make this swap work, you will need to use Z3M output flanges for the axles. Again, Z3M axles, Z3M trailing arms, and Z3M output flanges. This is a medium case E30 diff, so it uses 188 millimeter flanges. So you just pop the E30 ones out and pop the Z3M ones in. Z3 and E30 share a lot of similar parts. The diffs are slightly different, but they are basically the same, and you can mismatch parts somewhat. So we have new seals and everything to go back in. There's the pumpkin, and that's it. And then the biggest thing for the diff for me is this beautiful Z3M fin diff cover. This is brand new, not too expensive. It is extra. It's really not necessary, but because I'm going all out with the rest, I wanted to make sure I go all out for the rear. So we have here, again, Z3M fin diff cover. It matches right up to a stock E30 diff. We have ECS Tuning's magnetic drill, fill and drain plugs to go in, as you can see, stacked together. Garagistics 95A diff bushing. This is their centered version. And we have Garagistics secondary diff mount for the Z3M diff cover. You have to choose an option for the diff cover, or it'll come with another bracket for a stock E30 diff. But since this is a little bit larger, you do not need the bracket. Again, 95A Garagistic centered diff bushing. And that is about it for the rear. The last piece for the rear end, or at least for the diff, is Garagistic's extended stud kit for the diff. The stud kit itself makes it easy to take out and put back in the diff for service if needed. But as you can see, the spacers, those go with using the raised subframe bushings. So when you use the raised subframe bushings, the rear end is a little bit out of line for the drive shaft. So what you do to counter that is either offset diff bushings, or you can use their extended stud kit with the spacers and center diff bushings so that everything's back in its original place and you won't have any drive train problems. With that being said, over there, brand new drive shaft from Drive Shaft Pro in Gardena. Not sponsored, but go check them out. And that is about it for the whole swap. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below. I will respond to them as quickly as I can. And like I said before, each part will be in its own video. So the whole front assembly will be in its own video. The whole rear assembly will be in its own video. I will have its own video for rebuilding the calipers and its own video for rebuilding the whole diff. So that will be all organized in its own video. I'll try to put part numbers either as I walk through everything, or in the description. And if I don't do that, there will be part numbers for each individual video of all the rebuilds. The orders that the videos are going to come out for each individual section is, obviously, this will be out first. I will then have a video on rebuilding the calipers, the video on rebuilding the diff, and then the full rear end assembly video, and then the front end assembly, just because I am still waiting on a few more parts for the front from Florida. So once again, thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, put them down below, and have a great day.